12 to 3, the Arsenal.
Wellens out to Tom James. Good job! Oh, what a goal! What a goal for Tom James! Oh, that was special!
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Orient Live here in the E10 studio. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by journalist Brendan Pitcher and ex-O defender Joe Widdowson, and it's another massive fixture in League One as the O's are taking on high-flying Barnsley. But the O's aren't doing too well, especially journey last against Hull. Hopefully we can add even more points to the board today. And I mean, if all things go our way, could even sneak into the playoff spots. You know, it's early doors, but we've been in real good form recently, and those points are being added onto the board quite quickly.
Yeah, it's been a real resurgence. I feel like Richie's kind of really got the team in shape now. They found their feet. They've come across a formation that really works for them, and the players have adapted to really well. I feel like they look strong. They look organised at the back, keeping more clean sheets, creating chances and scoring goals, and they just look a lot more settled than the early parts of the season.
Barnsley will probably be tougher opposition than we've had in recent weeks. Probably the toughest test in a good few weeks, really.
Yeah, I think we've had quite a nice run in terms of our fixtures, but you have to win those games, and we have. And I spoke about having to beat teams like Carlisle away if we wanted to be where we want to be this season. Now you've got kind of one of the fixtures you probably label as almost a free hit. It's a chance to kind of make a statement to the division, because I'm sure a lot of teams, a lot of pundits in this division and other fans will be like, Orient are doing well, but they haven't really beaten anyone that good yet. I think if you win a game today against a Barnsley side who are challenging for automatic promotion, then I think everyone kind of sits up and takes notice and goes, wow, Orient are not only in good form, they're beating some good teams as well.
Well, it is a big test for Richie Wellens' men, but before we find out who's starting on the pitch this afternoon, we're going to hear from the main man himself. So let's get Richie Wellens' thoughts now.
Gaffer, Barnsley to come on Saturday. They're flying high in the league at the moment. What can we expect from them?
Yeah, it'll be a tough game. I think they've got some good players, really good players for the level. Fell a little bit short last year in terms of getting beat in the playoffs, but brought a new manager in who started off well. Has obviously been sold a good club, because to leave Tampa for Barnsley must take some doing. But no, they started off well. They've got good players. They've got players that have flickered from the Championship to League One, and invariably when they play in League One, they finish at the top end of League One. So a tough test for us, but I think we're in a good place now. We're learning all the time. We're getting more confident at this level. So I think the other good teams that we played this year, your Portsmouths, I think we're in a different place. Definitely defensively, but also our mindset's different as well. So it's going to be a tough game because we're a big club at this level, but obviously we're on a good run.
Last season they came as pretty much as close as you could come to winning promotion without winning promotion, losing so late in the playoff final. How impressive is it that they've sort of put that to one side so quickly and started this season so well?
Yeah, it's impressive. I think it helps that you've got a new manager, because there's no backlog from that. The new manager comes in with his new ideas and gives a new enthusiasm. Obviously, Michael Duffer's got a good move to Swansea, so I think that maybe helped. I think they're a good club. I think they're developing players. You look at some of the younger players that are developing who now have, a lot of resale value. So I think it's a good club that do things the right way. So yeah, I think invariably you get clubs that don't get into the Championship or fail in the playoffs, and then it can have that little lag at the start of the season. But I think they started the season off a 7-0 win at home to Port Vale, and everybody's thinking, Jesus, they must be a good team. But Port Vale have responded well from that. But I just think they're a good club, good team at this level.
How much do you think we've changed since the start of the season? Because obviously the results weren't perfect to begin with, but now we're getting the results and we're getting the performances to go with it.
There's not a lot of difference in terms of our performances. It's our mentality, and the moments are going for us. The first 3 games, little things, just little moments, little decision making, both in our own box and the opposition box, we didn't do right, or it went against us, and we paid the price for that. But I think if you ask most clubs, I think if you ask the 4 managers that came up from League Two to last year to say what would be the difference, I still think in a majority of games when we want to, we can dominate the ball. When we don't want to and we're quite happy to stay in our shape, we can do that. But some things that you can't affect is defending your own box and attacking the opposition box. And for me, that's the biggest difference. And I think in a couple of players at Barnsley have got they're really effective in the opposition box. Hence, they've scored a lot of goals this year.
Well, he's certainly a coach that's on fire. There's a reason why the O's will be wearing white out at Brisbane Road this afternoon. It's going to be a strange one to see, but they are wearing their away kit due to the unfortunate fire to Barnsley's team coach a few weeks ago. So let's take a look and see how the home team are lining up this afternoon. In goal for the O's is number 1, Sol Bryn. We have number 5, Dan Happy. Number 8, Jordan Brown. Number 9, number 10, Ruel Sotirio. Number 11, Theo Archibald. 12, Brandon Cooper. The captain, 15, Idris El Mazouni. Number 22, Ethan Galbraith. 24, Jordan Graham. And 32, Rob Hunt. So just the one change to the starting 11, with Jordan Graham coming into the side and Ed Turns dropping out. And then on the bench, of course, we have Sam Howes, Tom James, Jaden Sweeney, Ed Turns, George Moncur, Aaron Drinan and Shaq Ford. So there's how the O's are lining up today. And it's probably a bit of an attacking change in Richie's eyes today then. Jordan Graham will probably go into the wing-back position, you imagine. Rob Hunt maybe coming narrow in that back three. But having Jordan Graham in at right back, that's not really a right back, is it?
No, I quite like the look of that change. You know, obviously Jordan Graham comes into the team and he brings a lot more attacking, threat than Rob Hunt. I think Rob Hunt's done well since coming into the team, but I think it'd be quite a natural little transition for him slotting back into the back three. And obviously Jordan Graham provides so much, quality of delivery, and being a natural wide man, he'll really look to sort of be on the front foot and get in those attacking areas. Take on the fullback and get balls into the box.
What do you think was in Richie's mind when he made that change of having Rob Hunt at centre back over Ed Turns?
I think Hunt is probably maybe a little bit quicker than Ed Turns. I think he can play that wide centre-back role, because when he plays fullback, he's not the most attacking fullback. He's very much a conservative, stay-at-home, keeps it tidy at the back as well. I think Ed Turns is a good passer of the ball, but I think Rob Hunt probably possesses just a little bit more quality. And I think it's all about kind of this change has been because you want to get Jordan Graham on the pitch. Look, it's a difficult game today against Barnsley. We might not create as many chances as we did in recent weeks against teams like Carlisle. We might only get 1 or 2 chances, and when you want those chances, you want them to fall to the better players. So when you get Graham out there, that's you want to get your best players out on the pitch, and I think this is the way to do it without upsetting the side too much.
And I think he's probably the best crosser of the ball we've had at this club in a long time. I can't think of many players who can get the ball in on as quickly as he can. The quality of his deliveries is unreal. And when Brendan says about maybe not having as many chances in recent weeks, you're looking to him to be the one to create those, to get it in the box to Pigott and Sotirio, aren't you?
For sure, yeah. I think probably Dean Cox maybe up there with him in terms of quality of delivery. But certainly in recent years, I think his kind of real outstanding attribute is his delivery and his crossing. Whether he's on the left or the right, he's quite comfortable checking back and whipping it in or beating a man. And I think what I quite like about him is his variety of crossing. So, it might be that deeper one that he really sort of whips. It might be he gets to the byline and stands one up. He's quite intelligent with his choice of cross. I feel like, obviously playing at home today, Rich will want to be on the front foot. Perhaps, dropping Rob Hunt back to right centre back, he might see that as an opportunity for Rob Hunt sort of stepping out with the ball, which he may do, more naturally than Brandon Cooper on the other side, or than someone like Ed Turns might do. So, he might see that as Hunt stepping out and possibly combining, more with Jordan Graham down that side and being more offensive down that right-hand side and a bit more conservative on the left, perhaps. But I think Jordan Graham, he's an exciting player. He's got a bit of flair, a bit of trickery. He can beat a man, and obviously we know about his balls into the box. So it'd be good to see him playing today.
And that battle in the middle of the park, Brendan, Idris El Mazouni wearing the armband. He's got Jordan Brown and Ethan Galbraith alongside him. It's a young midfield, but we've spoke about them a lot in recent weeks, and they seem to really complement each other, and they're keeping the likes of Darren Prattley and George Moncur out of the starting 11, so they must be doing something right.
Yeah, I think first of all it brings legs in that midfield in terms of all three can get up and down the pitch really well. Also think all three are very, very comfortable on the ball, and especially El Mazouni and Galbraith are really suited to what Wellens wants to do with this formation in terms of, we've spoken about a lot in recent weeks with the eights kind of trying to overlap and get into those positions and create overloads from out wide. I think they're very comfortable with the ball at their feet. They're very comfortable in terms of dribbling and progressing with the ball and that kind of thing. And then, like we say, when you get into those positions, when you get wide overlaps of the wing backs, then they're very comfortable at kind of getting those areas and pulling the ball back from there.
We've had joy of that in recent weeks against teams that maybe aren't as strong as Barnsley, but you'd imagine Barnsley will have looked at this, they would have probably highlighted this, and they'll be alert to it as well.
Yeah, I'm sure, there's no doubt they'll have studied Orient and the strengths in recent weeks. I feel like, perhaps if they do manage to kind of solve that issue of the eight sort of pulling wide and picking up, difficult sort of pockets to be marked, then I think on the other hand, if they stop that, then what that does allow is that pass into the likes of Royal Sotirio to get on the ball, to drop in, get turned, and we know that he can be a threat when he picks it up in those sort of central areas and starts dribbling. I also think Joe Pigott's actually shows some good, tidy hold-up play in recent weeks. So, by vacating that space in the middle of the pitch, going into the likes of Pigott or Ruel, that's a different option of trying to build. So I think, Richie's, he wants the team to be versatile, and I think that with this shape, they do have now different options, different ways of building. I think, the likes of Jordan Brown in there, really tidy with his passing range. He's got that one that he can wrap through the lines, and sort of work the ball through the pitch, but he's also really comfortable with just turning it around the corner and putting it in space, do you know what I mean, for runners. So yeah, I like how Orient's up in this shape and their different approaches to trying to build.
And as you say, Joe Pigott and Royal Sotirio up top, if we can get the ball through to them and let them do their thing, then as you'll see here, they are starting to form a really nice partnership. Joe Pigott's coming into his own. He's only got the 1-2, if you count Lincoln, goals, but he's offering a lot more than that, as we'll see here.
Yeah, I think what we saw earlier in the season was a very kind of side that didn't know their best shape. I don't think Richie knew what his best 11 was, and I think now we're seeing this back three and the way it's evolving, and it's almost a settled side now. You're only making 1 or 2 changes week to week. It means the side know what they have to do, and that really kind of comes into where Joe Pigott's improvement has come in recent weeks.
This is some of our better attacking moments against Carlisle. The first half was really dominant, and as we'll see here from Joe Pigott, that ball is something that you probably don't expect from a number 9, but how fantastic it was.
I think that's what kind of everyone looks at Joe Pigott and goes, he's quite tall, he's a number 9, he's probably going to be a target man. You play balls up onto him and he'll flick it on, and I think that's a harsh stereotype on him. I think he is better when he drops in to those spaces in kind of a number 10 role where he drops deep almost a little bit. I think when we hear an interview from him in a minute, I think gets compared to Harry Kane, and almost kind of that kind of way where you drop in, the defenders can't mark you because no one really knows whether the centre-back's going to come and get him, whether it's got to be a defensive midfielder that's got to pick him up. So he finds that natural space, and then that's where Royal Sotirio comes in, and that's where the goal came last week, where Royal Sotirio can pull him in behind. Joe Pigott comes, drops deep, and as we've seen there with that ball, he's got unbelievable quality when he gets time on the ball. So yeah, that's going to be one way where we can hopefully have success today.
We're praising his link-up play, dropping deep, and his all-round game, but he's a striker, and him more than anyone will be wanting to add goals to this game, won't he?
Yeah, of course, but I think the goals will come. I think when you're a striker and you're playing well, I think naturally you become more confident, and I'm sure that when chances begin to fall his way, then he will be able to take them. But I think just the relationship and the balance between him and Ruel at the moment is really nice. Obviously there we saw Pigott dropping in for Ruel's goal last weekend, and the great weight on the through ball, and then in the other sense with this Ruel dropping in, I think they're both quite comfortable to play as 9s or 10s. So when it's Ruel dropping into those positions, obviously Pigott doesn't have the legs to really make runs in behind and such, but Ruel can then pick up the ball and drive, and they can combine and stuff, and Pigott's higher up the pitch to then get himself in the box, should it go wide to the likes of Theo Archibald or Jordan Graham. So, yeah, I feel like his all-round game is good. He's improved. I think he probably started the season a little bit sluggish, maybe, wasn't quite fit, took a little while to get going. But yeah, no, the form he's in now, I'm sure the goals will come.
And we saw some of the clips from kind of our all-round play from Carlisle last week. I'm sure the boys will be glad that they don't have to sit on a coach for another 12, 13 hours this weekend. But they'll take some real confidence and spirit from that performance. So the football played in the first half was fantastic. And then the defensive display in the second half was equally as impressive.
Yeah, it was a very good away performance in terms of we probably could have been out of sight at half time. That's probably the one criticism, especially from Richie's point of view. I'm sure he'll be looking at when we're on top, can we put the game to bed there and then? We shouldn't have to hang on a little bit like we did in the second half. But to the same extent, I don't think we were completely hanging on. It wasn't like Carlisle were battering the door down. We defended well. I think set pieces was a big strength in terms of the fact we've looked a little bit ropey defending set pieces in the early parts of the season, whereas I think on Saturday Carlisle had a number of corners and we defended them well. So I'm going to be looking for more of the same today.
How important will it be today then, Joe, to be clinical when we get our chances, and if we do have numerous ones, make sure we put as many away as possible, because Barnsley will probably punish us a little bit more than maybe Carlisle and teams in recent weeks, Reading, have been able to do.
Yeah, listen, I think Richie will be relaying that message to the boys. You're up against a really, really strong League One team today. That will be there or thereabouts come the end of the season, looking for promotion. So, when those chances do come, we'll really need to take them, make sure we're clinical and capitalise, and at the same time, just show the same sort of resilience defensively that the boys have shown the last few weeks. Make sure they're on it, that they compete, they're strong, and I think tactically they'll need to be spot on today to contain Barnsley.
Right then, just under 15 minutes until kickoff, and of course don't forget, if you're watching live on our YouTube stream, then international fans, you can pick up a pass to watch along with us here on Orient Live, and UK fans, you can listen along with an audio pass as well. Just head over to the website that's on screen now to purchase your passes. But now, we've been raving about him a lot, our number 9, Joe Pigott, and we caught up with him earlier in the week and got his thoughts ahead of this afternoon's match. So before we take a look at the visiting side, let's hear Joe Pigott's thoughts now.
I mean, just the one goal so far, two, depending on if we count the Lincoln one. But you're starting to develop a really good relationship with Ruel up front. How much are you enjoying that?
Yeah, no, really enjoying it. Obviously, combined for a good goal at the weekend, and probably could have had a couple more before half time. But it's really, really positive, and hopefully we can look to continue that.
And I remember watching you as a young player at Charlton, where you were goals, goals, goals. You're now a real team player. At what point in your career did that really start to blossom, do you think?
I'm not really sure. Probably last sort of 3 or 4 years. Obviously I just love playing football, and scoring goals is a massive part of that. But I like getting on the ball just as much, to be honest, and looking for passes, and they call it coming short, but a bit of a hybrid between a 9 and a 10. So I probably call myself a 9.5 really. Obviously I couldn't have that on the back of my shirt, but I feel like a bit of a hybrid player now, which I think quite a few players are in the modern game.
And a lovely assist at Carlisle on Saturday. Just talk us through it from your side.
Obviously it's part of the game plan really, for me to sort of go into those spaces and for Ruel to play off the shoulder, and on that occasion I sort of knew where he was going to be and managed to put it in there, and he finished it off really, really well.
I saw a couple of people describe the pass as a Harry Kane style assist. That must have been nice to hear it if you have.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, obviously, what can you say about Harry Kane? Amazing player, and if I could add his finishing to that as well, I would be pretty pleased.
And Barnsley to come next is back-to-back wins for us. A big crowd expected at Brisbane Road. How much are we looking forward to it, and looking forward to taking on a team that's flying high at the top of the league?
I think fans and players are really, really excited for this one, and I think we're feeling really, really positive, and we've had a couple of rough results, especially at home, but I think the building blocks are really starting to be put in place for us to keep going, and I think teams will be looking at coming to Brisbane Road and thinking, this is going to be a tough test, and I'm sure a couple more wins, and especially against teams like Barnsley, teams will really start respecting us, and we'll carry on climbing up.
Top stuff there from Joe, and hopefully he can get himself on the score sheet again this afternoon. But as we've all alluded to, it's tough opposition in the form of Barnsley FC, and let's take a look and see how the visiting side are lining up this afternoon. So in goal for Barnsley is number 23, Ben Killip. We have the captain, number 2, Jordan Williams. We have number 3, John Russell. Number 6, Mael de Gavigny. Number 7, Nicky Cadden. 8, Herbie Kane. Number 10, Josh Benson. Number 22, Corey O'Keefe. Number 26, Orient champion, Jamie McCart. We have number 36, Max Watters, and 44, Devante Cole. And on the bench for Barnsley is Kieran Flail, Sam Cosgrove, Barry Cotter, Owen, Adam Phillips, Jack Shepherd, and John McAtee. So, very strong starting 11 for Barnsley, Brendan. A couple of recognisable names. Jamie McCart in there, obviously we probably didn't see much of him on his loan spell last year, but I think a lot of Orient fans will be looking at him and wondering what Jamie McCart will see out on the pitch today.
Yeah, I think if you're just going on what we saw of him in an Orient shirt, he's one to target today in terms of where we can have some joy, but I'm sure he's now had a full pre-season. He's at a new club. He played at a higher level than Orient in the past, so he's clearly got the pedigree, but I'm sure from what we saw in the 6 months that we did see of him, we probably didn't see the best Jamie McCart.
You, Joe, think he's a strong defender that we didn't see the best of, but he's obviously playing well, and our attackers, we know he's big, he's strong, he's going to be a tough opposition for the Strike partnership.
Yeah, he's a big lad, good size, good, very physical. I think I thought he was, from the little that we did see of him last season, looks quite comfortable on the ball, nice left foot, but as Brendan said there, obviously, Richie and the boys will know him well, and they may look at him as an area to target, just obviously looking if he does play in a back three or, at the back on the left-hand side, perhaps dropping Rob Hunt back into right back is a tactical way to try and maybe exploit him, with along with Jordan Graham, the two of them combining to try and double up on him, perhaps. I don't know, but yeah, look, he's had a good career, played at a good level, so, and obviously he's in a successful team that's doing well at the moment, so yeah, we'll see.
Part of a defence that have only conceded 12 goals this season. That's an impressive defensive record. So something's going right for that back line at Barnsley. Yeah,
they're a very good side. They're going to play a similar formation to us today, I believe. I think it will be a back three, very attacking, good wing backs in Corey O'Keefe and Nicky Cadden, who get forward well and defend well as well. And then 2 strikers up front in Devante Cole, the league's top scorer. He had a very good season last season and has carried that on into this season. And Max Watters, who he played up against in League Two when he had that great spell at Crawley. It probably hasn't gone as well for him since. I think he got to move into the Championship with Cardiff, but now he's dropped down to League One. He's finding his feet here at Barnsley. So yeah, I think it's a very strong side. I think they're probably a side that are going to be in and around that playoff automatic promotion battle. And like I said before, I think this is going to be a statement game if we can get a result here.
It's interesting because it's probably the toughest game we've had, especially here, since the likes of Stevenage and Portsmouth, who are also both in that top 6 area. Those 2 games didn't go very well. We conceded a few goals both times. So it is a real test for Orient and for Richie to show that we've learned from that, and that our recent good form isn't just because of the teams we've played.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you look back to the Portsmouth and Stevenage games, we were in a different place as a team, people missing, formations changing, personnel changing. Now I feel like the team settled, and Richie will be, laying the gauntlet down to the players and saying, look, we've shown what we're about the last few weeks. Now is a good test. We're at home. Let's try and impose our game on Barnsley. Let's just have a real good go. As Brendan said, be a similar match-up in terms of formation. So, I'm sure the team that can impose themselves best on a game will come out winners, I think.
Let's take a look at some of Barnsley's clips from this year and some of the goals they've scored. They've scored a fair few, 25 to be precise. It's going to be a tough job for the Orient defenders to keep them quiet.
Yeah, 25, maybe a little bit skewed by the fact they scored 7 on opening day against Port Vale, but still, like you say, a very, very good side, and a very, very good side away from home. I think if you look at their last 4, they've won all 4 fairly comfortably, but all against kind of the sides that you'd probably anticipate to be lower mid-table to relegation battle in Exeter, Northampton and Wigan. So I think they're going to come into this full of confidence. They're going to be a side who will look at it like we're looking at it from the point of view of let's go and make a statement. They'll be looking at it as kind of business as usual. Let's try and get another 3 points on their road to the promotion.
And Joe, you know, we're seeing Devante Cole scoring a lot of goals, so he's one that the Orient defenders are going to have to be really alert to.
Yeah, really, really good centre forward. Obviously, top scorer at the moment in the league, and you know, a striker that seems to be able to score a variety of different types of goals. You know, intelligent player. You know, can finish on his left foot, right foot. Gets himself into good goal scoring areas. Just looking at a lot of his finishes here, you know, he's in the right areas. He seems to have that instinct of knowing where the ball's going to land, you know, knowing where the ball's going to be cut back to, and he's clinical. You know, he's the type of striker that doesn't need a handful of chances. He will take. Do you know what I mean? He'll take them at the first attempt. So, you know, along with Waters, you know, I think it's a team with a lot of energy. Really sort of quick players, dynamic team. And yeah, I think they will pose a real challenge to the boys today. But I think it's a great test, and one that, you know, we can kind of go into with a lot of optimism.
Well, there's just under 5 minutes until kick-off now. So for the last time, let's remind ourselves of how Richie Wellens are lining up this afternoon. And in goal for Leighton Orient is number 1, Sol Bryn. We have number 5, Dan Happy. 8, Jordan Brown. Number 9, Joe Pigott. 10, Ruel Sotirio, he's our top goal scorer. We have number 11, Theo Archibald. Number 12, Brandon Cooper. Wearing the armband stays 15, Idris El Mazouni. 22, Ethan Galbraith. 24, Jordan Graham. And 32, Rob Hunt. And on the bench for the O's is Sam Howes, Tom James, Jaden Sweeney, Ed Turns, George Moncur, Aaron Drynan and Shaq Ford. And of course the O's are wearing their white kit this afternoon due to the unfortunate fire on the Barnsley team. Coach and both sets of players are getting ready in the dugout. We'll be able to see them very shortly, and there they are, looking in the zone, and they've got to be today, and they've got to be on the game. They've got to win their first challenge. They've got to get that first pass right, and they've got to get on top of this game early doors.
Yeah, definitely. I think if we can unsettle Barnsley early on, that's going to be good for us. We've had some really good opening spells for the last few games, and we'll have to carry that on again today. And
Joe, what way do you expect this one to go? I personally fear it might be a tight, cagey affair. Are you hoping for goals, or how do you see it going?
I think it's going to be a scoring draw. I can see a 2-2 I've got in my mind, yeah. So, no, I think there'll be goals. I think both teams will be on the front foot and looking to attack. And, you know, the form that Barnsley be in, I can't see them not scoring. But, yeah, I'm going for 2-2.
And how important is it to cap off what's been a good few weeks with a performance today, probably even more so than the result, to not have what happened against Stevenage and Portsmouth happen today? How important is it to show what we're about?
Yeah, we want to show that we can play against these top sides and compete at that level. So I think that's what Richie will be looking at today. Can we not only get a result but performance to match?
Well, here come the boys, and it's time now to hand over to our commentary team of Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Good afternoon and welcome to Brisbane Road. It is International Day and overseas Lake Orient supporters are here, and Matt Hiscock, I think they could be in for a special match against the side who have a simply incredible away day record.
Well, it will certainly be a difficult match for the O's, no doubt about that, because as you highlight immediately, Barnsley's away record so far this campaign has been nothing short of tremendous. 5 victories, 1 draw, and when you look at the goals that they've scored in totality, they're a real threat. They've got players that can punish you. Devante Cole, the leading marksman, 9 goals already this campaign. Nicky Cadden's got quality. We've seen him before when he was at Forest Green, of course, but he's been able to step up into this league and division. There's quality in this Barnsley side. It'll be a difficult game.
Plenty of mascots: Ethan, Charlie, Lucy, Imogen, Isa, Hayden, Freddie and Joshua out there with their heroes. And we were talking about that away day record. They were fortunate to get home in one piece, weren't they, from Exeter. The team bus, Porter Light, they've lost their kit and their boots, and I think they were very pleased to have a week off.
Yeah, they were. I think Orient have been very, very kind and generous this afternoon by wearing their white shirts, the O's, to help Barnsley out due to their kit troubles, which does seem slightly odd for a professional football club, but nonetheless, the O's will be wearing white this afternoon. And you mentioned, of course, the incident which caused this problem for Barnsley in terms of their kit, the attire they're wearing, and that was down to a fire. This afternoon, very different circumstances. Those Barnsley supporters, some of them still coming into the ground now, they left Yorkshire this afternoon, or this morning I should say, in floods. So they've done well to get here. Those that have made the journey, probably around 800 or so currently in that away end, and they are in good voice.
This new hybrid pitch looks magnificent, and it's going to be in action again tomorrow. It's the Leyton Orient women's team that are playing Wroxham in the FA Cup. It's free entry, and everyone is encouraged to be here, and it's because of this hybrid pitch, isn't it, Matt? Yeah, the pitch is in tip-top condition. Of course, there has been a couple of fixtures that have fallen victim to the weather in and around the UK in the last 48 hours, particularly around the Midlands, Nottingham area, but no problem here. As I say, has been a fair amount of rainfall in London, but the pitch is looking in tremendous condition. Shouldn't have any bearings on the game and the outcome at all.